day is it? It is January 23rd. And very exciting news. Yesterday, I found out that there is a doggy in need. As you might know, it's been quite a while since, it's actually been a year since my last foster. But I have fostered dogs before here in Korea, and I volunteer specifically with the Yongin Pound, sorry for the construction noise, which I'll talk more about maybe later. I kind of want to do like a Q&A. The person who organizes all the fosters messaged me last night and was like, listen, we have an emergency situation. This dog got kicked out of her apartment, like her other foster, and we just need like her to stay for a little bit until we can find a long-term person, and they know that I'm good with short-term. So as of last night, we discovered that we are going to be hosting a very cute dog. She should be coming any minute now. We're very excited. Apparently she's very intelligent, very calm, and yeah, so let's go meet her. Hey, bye. Lots of food. Just checking everything out. 한식. La. Style. Chicken? You don't like chicken? I know why. Cause this is what you wanted all along, isn't it? Got a lot of nervous drool, my love. I think that all you ever really ever wanted was. Rosie keeps looking behind me, and I realize. Are you concerned about this strange, quiet dog? We're gonna get a pizza and friends are gonna come over. Did you have a good nap? Kurt and my friend Yoon are gonna come over to have lunch and to meet Miss Rosie. So they better get here soon or else I'm gonna eat it all. So, there's pizza right there.
Where is she from?
Korea? I don't know. But she's going to Seattle.
Don't listen to my music. Don't lie in my bed.
Sister.
Don't listen to the references to things you might have actually said.
Try again. Come on.
Cause those are my words, not yours. As far as I'm concerned, it could have been a lot worse. I wasn't trying to avoid the confrontation. She isn't crying.
Please excuse the mess. It is the middle of Lunar New Year, and we haven't left the house. I've been wearing the same thing for like 3 days. And my darling Rosie is a little bit lazy, so she likes to pick one spot and just stay there. So this is what we're gonna work with. Do you wanna come like a little bit more into frame, or how do you want to do this, girl? Well, she's really content to stay right here. So we're just gonna answer questions from right here. And first and foremost, the main question I got was, where did I even find these volunteering activities? So I moved here in 2014 and I very swiftly got bored. Like, I wanted activities to do. I had volunteered with dogs before, and I ended up finding this one opportunity that's no longer available, but it was with CARE. I used to go to the shelter for like severely abused basically dogs that weren't gonna get adopted. Walked them, you could walk them on the weekends, and it was really nice. And that's how I ended up getting into a different Facebook group, which is the Animal Rescue Network Korea Facebook group, and that's how I ended up meeting Yunji. And Yunji is the person who organizes everything specifically for the Yongin Pound, which is an amazing shelter. Yeah, that is how I got into this. And then once I was living alone and I had my own home, I was able to foster. Yes. Oh, now you turn and face the camera. Good girl. What are the requirements? Does it cost money? How do you even foster. So the requirement is that you live in a place where you are able to host a dog. One problem that I actually ran into was my landlord said it's okay to have dogs, and then my first foster dog was rather large, like kind of Rosie size, and she was like, oh, by like dog, I meant small dog. And so in the middle of her staying with me, this was Sprocket, in the middle of Sprocket staying with me, we had to find another person, and that's really stressful for dogs. They definitely want to stay in one place. So before you bring a dog into your home, be sure that here, get your dental sheet. Here. Be sure that they can stay. And then obviously make sure that you have the funds, because you might be in charge of their vet bills if they have any emergency or something like that. You have to buy their puppy pads, you have to buy their food. Sometimes they come with things, but just be financially able to foster them. A lot of people struggle because they have long working hours, and usually that's not really good for the dogs. So also having time is very good. So yeah, just make sure that you have a very safe environment for the dog to come into. Oh, this was one. Do you need to know Korean to do this? No, in my case, the Yongin Pound has a lot of volunteer activities for foreigners. There's a lot of foreigners involved. The woman who works so hard to organize the whole fostering system, she speaks English perfectly. She's great. So actually Korean doesn't really matter. A lot of questions about like adopting, and do dogs get adopted here? What happens with that? It's still really common to get dogs from breeders here, because people like their purebreds, or from a puppy shop or like a pet shop. I know, we don't like that, I know. It's getting a lot better though. There are a lot more like influencers and celebrities that are speaking out about it. Actually, the current president, it's typical for presidents to have a Jindo, which is like a Korean like royal dog. He adopted like this ugly black little dog from the shelter, and so not only did he adopt this dog that wasn't a Jindo, but it was black, and so people have like certain prejudices about colors of dogs. Like black dogs are more dirty, like you would like a white dog or like a brown dog. And especially like in Rosie's case, she got hit by a car. She has 3 legs now. In Korea, like people aren't gonna adopt a 3-legged dog, and she's also like relatively big for most people who live in a city. So it's better for what we do is we take these dogs to places where they're more likely to be adopted. So America, places in Europe, places in Russia, stuff like that. Yeah, the adopting scene is pretty sad, but it's getting a lot better. But yeah, people buying their dogs on Craigslist, in the puppy shop, all that. It's not fun. Can you see what she's doing? She's just like chewing on her paw. Another huge one, is it sad to say goodbye over and over again? Yes, it's so sad. Kurt and I still talk about Mop all the time. Like if you guys have heard me talk about Mop, we fostered this poodle that was just the best dog in the entire world, and we miss her dearly. And you're the best dog in the whole world, yes. But yeah, it's super duper hard, and it's funny because the people who will like pick them up and take them to the airport, specifically one person who I volunteered with a lot, she does most of the like transportation stuff, and she knows that it's like a band-aid, and she literally just comes, and even though like I enjoy talking to her, like it'd be nice if she would stay a little bit, she literally just comes to the door, takes the dog, and is like, okay, bye, see you later, and just drives away, because she just has to go, or else I would just be sobbing and like holding the dog for a really long time. And so like afterwards she'll message me and be like, I hope you're okay. But it's really like a band-aid, and it's really hard. But you have to know that you're giving them a chance at a better life. If it weren't for you, they'd still be in the shelter. And a lot of what we do is helping them get like acting like a normal dog, so that they can get like socialized, and so that they can have a better chance of getting adopted in wherever they end up going. Hey, no, we're not licking our butt. It's sad, but it's like worth it. And that was kind of it. So also with asking how to get involved, I will link some stuff down below, but thank you so much for asking this. Do you need flight volunteers? So if you guys don't know what flight volunteers are, yes, oh my gosh, what? I know you're waiting for one. Rosie needs one. Flight volunteers. So you can bring a dog as a oversized baggage on a lot of different airlines. Basically what you do is you bring one of these dogs to America, you meet the shelter that we're collaborating with on the other end, and they pick the dog up at the airport. Like all you have to do is take them from like the baggage claim to the arrival area, which is like usually a couple feet. So it's really no big deal. You don't have to pay anything. Everything is arranged already. You don't even really have to touch the dog if you don't want to. Like these dogs really, really need your help. It has to be a non-stop flight, and typically it's to places like San Francisco, LA, New York, Seattle, a lot of places in Europe. If you're flying to Munich, if you're flying to Vienna, if you're flying to Moscow, stuff like that, just check, like whenever you have a non-stop flight anywhere from Seoul, it doesn't hurt to just message into the animal rescue group and just say like, hey, this is my flight, this is where I'm going, and this is the airline, because they do have to check with the airline. But you can save up to like 3 dogs' lives, and it costs nothing to you. So that is how Sprocket is currently living her best life in Colorado. Mop is living her best life in San Jose, and Steve went to Moscow, and hopefully Rosie will be going to Seattle. But I do just want to end on like a little note of like, fostering is really hard. Like I kind of went into it thinking like, oh, I've had a dog my entire life, you know, I'm really good with them, I volunteered at dog shelters before, blah blah blah, it's gonna be really nice to have a dog in the house. But just keep in mind that, like, for example, my first dog Sprocket, as I mentioned, she was like 8 months old. She was a puppy. She was big too, and she wasn't socialized at all. Like she wasn't potty trained. She had only lived in a cage, and so it was just like really hard, and I wasn't in the best mental place at the time. So I would just come home and she would have like gone through my trash or like pooped on the floor or something, and I would just cry. Like I would just come home and I would just sit down and I would cry. And that kind of happened sometimes. Like Mop sometimes would like tear things up, or Steve did pee on my blanket quite a few times. But just know that when you're getting a dog from a shelter, they're stressed. So like, even though Rosie's amazing and she's potty trained, she did have an accident her first night. Literally, I was putting on my jacket so she knew we were gonna go out, and then I went to the bathroom first, because heaven forbid I go to the bathroom before she does. And as I'm in the bathroom, I just hear Kurt going, no, 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 and she just like pooped right in the middle of the room. So and they're stressed, so it's probably gonna be like not really nice poop, if you know what I mean, like stress poop. So it's just really keep that in mind, that you're getting a dog that might not be as trained. Like if you've had a dog your whole life, think of them in the very, very, very beginning. You might not even remember, but it's really hard starting out with a dog. So make sure you're in, not only are you like financially able to take care of them, you have the correct house, the right time, but make sure you are in a good mental space too, because it's really tough, and you do not ever want to be like, it's too hard, take the dog back. Definitely like make sure you're good first. Yeah, please excuse all the puppy pads. She hasn't used them at all. We're honestly just like putting them out because she sprays her water everywhere. She's completely potty trained. She's amazing. If you live in the Seattle area, you're looking for a great girl. She's barked all of one time. She just wants me to pay attention to her, so she started like licking our chair. You know we love that chair. You know we love that chair. Don't touch that chair. Rosie, do you want to say bye? I promise I'm done. Come here, come here, come here. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. Rosie, just come a little closer. One hop. Yes, good girl. So anyway, goodbye from me and Rosie. Thank you so much. I really hope that this does inspire some of you guys to foster if you are able to. I know it's really difficult, especially with a lot of people who live here. Our working hours are really, really tough. So yeah, I will leave you here. I'm gonna go play with this girl, and yeah, thank you so much for spending time with Rosie. She's only here for a week, but we love her very much. She's so chill. She's so quiet. She doesn't make any noises. Yeah, I'm gonna go play with her. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.